Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer online action. We're going to be taking a look at a replay between myself playing as the Warriors of Chaos and a Beastmen player, so definitely in for a wild, bloody fight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the army build. I've got a Chaos Sorceror, Lore of Metal. We've got Final Transmutation as well as Searing Doom, so a fairly cheap kit. The Manticore does give him some nice terror as well as some good mobility. That's the only heroic unit I've got. My front line is Chaos Marauders, backed up by the Weird Spawn for some armor sundering. We've got 2 Forsaken on each flank, one of them, of course, being the Demon Spew. 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds for some anti-large in the rear. 1 Dragon Ogre Shaggoths for some major killing power. We've also got 2 Marauder Horsemen for some range support, and that's about it. For my opponent's army, he's gone with a fairly small elite Beastmen army. He's got the Bestigor herd with the Koroks Man-Rippers in the center. 3, it looks like giant Gorbel. 3 units of Minotaurs, one of them being Minotaurs with great weapons. He's got 2 Ungor Raiders, and his army is led by Malagor the Dark Omen. Looks like he's carrying, let's have a look, Mantle of Gohork and Devolve. So definitely looking to get some buffs. He's also got the Icon of Vilification, so very good stuff. And we'll go ahead and kick things off here. So the idea with the Weird Spawn is that Bestigor are a very, very common pick in this matchup. And because they're relatively low melee defense, if you can sunder their armor, lower tier unit like Chaos Marauders will actually trade very cost effectively with them. They only have 20 melee defense, so I mean these guys have 35 melee attacks, so most of their attacks will be making contact. So if you can sunder their armor, then it will definitely, definitely be useful. So over here, just pulling away these Minotaurs, they're going to be chasing these Marauder Horsemen, which is definitely not what they want to be doing, just because they'll take a lot of damage here, because they only have 35 armor and no shields on these guys, so they will take damage from those javelins. And in the meanwhile, we're just kind of getting some positioning done. I'm going to be moving my forces up here to engage. My opponent is content to sit back. So we're going to be doing a bit of skirmishing first, but we will get the engagement underway shortly. You can see these Marauder Horsemen pitching their javelins. They're going to get caught a little bit here because my Marco was a little bit sloppy, but they'll lose a couple units, but they'll still be able to dish out some good damage. You can see about 10% of HP damage on both those units of Minotaurs, so probably not the greatest trade for him. He did get, maybe about 8 unit models or so off this Marauder Horseman, but, so far so good. Seeing that my opponent is not going to be moving up anytime soon, I decided to bring my forces up. We're just going to march straight up the pipe and get in there. I'm pretty confident that I can win this fight, just because I outnumber my opponent greatly. So we'll see how it goes. I don't want to be sending these Weird Spawn directly into those Koroks Man-Rippers, so we're going to switch them over onto this other group of Bestigor as we charge in here. So let's go ahead and get some nice cinematic action of this engagement as we kick things off here. You can see the Weird Spawn sliding over to this non-anti-large unit of Bestigor, and they're going to be getting in there, doing some nice damage. You can see some splash attacks already going off. They're down to 70 armor, taking quite a bit of damage already. Over here, we're dropping a Final Transmutation on Gorbol, just because he's a very powerful combatant. As he runs forward here, the Final Transmutation will start to take effect on these Bestigor as well, which is going to be very nice for me. We're bringing in the Halberds to help counter the Minotaurs wherever we see them charging in. These Marauder Horsemen still in the back, just harassing. We're going to be getting them on these Ungor Raiders. The Manticore so far not able to really find an effective home. Over on this flank, this Bestigor herd is just getting completely outnumbered, and although they were able to, fend off a couple units of Marauders, they're just Marauders, so it's not a big accomplishment. You can see this unit of Bestigor herd that got its armor sundered. Between the Forsaken that came in here and the Weird Spawn, these guys are getting absolutely cut to pieces. You can see now the Koroks Man-Rippers are trying to get over on the Weird Spawn, who are actually taking quite a bit of damage, but they've already helped take down one unit of Bestigor. And, I don't know if they've necessarily paid for themselves, but so far so good. This unit of Forsaken over here got charged down by the Minotaurs, able to do some good damage, but getting routed off. Same over here. Because of the high weapon strength of the Forsaken, they'll be able to do okay against Minotaurs in a one-on-one, as long as they don't get charged too hard. So here, where we're able to collapse this unit of Bestigor and bring the rest of these units over, including this Demon Spew, we're going to be poisoning these guys, hitting them with the Swarm of Flies. Now that this unit of Marauder Horsemen has been routed off, we're going to bring the other one in just to tie down these Ungor Raiders. The Ungor Raiders are actually pretty decent in melee, especially when they're under this kind of Beastmen frenzy. the, let's see what it's called, the Primal Fury. And so they'll actually trade pretty decently with the Marauder Horsemen, but it's mostly just to tie them down. Over here, we're bringing in the last kind of main infantry fight here. This Giant's taking quite a bit of damage from the Shaggoth, which is, you know, been cleaving through the Giant. It's been cleaving through, you know, a lot of different units. So it actually doesn't quite fell the Giant there, but the Giant's only 106 HP and is going to be routing off. Some really nice devolves getting dropped in from Malagor there. He's doing quite a bit of damage with that. But right now it's starting to look a little bit dicey for the Beastmen. Similar to that Empire game I had against the Beastmen a little while back. You can see this elite kind of smaller Beastmen army means your units are going to get surrounded. And even though they don't have a lot of armor piercing here, you know, the halberds do have armor piercing, and you know, just the high weapon strength of the Forsaken is going to do quite a bit of damage to these Minotaurs who don't have very much armor. Gorbel himself is getting beat up by the Shaggoth. He's not having a real good time here, and this Shaggoth has taken a bit of damage, but nothing overly substantial yet. Looks like that Giant did come back from routing, and a lot of these troops over here we're needing to get on. This Bestigor over here is also coming back. We've also got Minotaurs with great weapons over here. The Manticore has come down and is just helping see off some units, keeping them from rallying. You can see a very nice Devolve was dropped over here, and it actually broke a ton of my units. So really the only thing still fighting in here is this Demon Spew, and of course the Shaggoth punting around to Gorbel. He's getting some major work done, still very healthy, so that Devolve was really, really nice, broke up most of my infantry, and is going to allow my opponent to rally quite a few of his forces together. However, Gorbel is still having a bad time dueling this Shaggoth here. He'll be able to get some damage done against him, but he's very, very low now. Going to bring in the Manticore just to help finish him off, and with Gorbel down, our attention is next going to shift over to the Giant. So we're going to try and finish him off now. Shaggoth's getting through, and it looks like he's going to fell the Giant there. Gorbel has only got 32 HP, so he's out of here. And the Marauder Horsemen have rallied, so we're now going to get them back on these Ungor Raiders here. And just this Shaggoth's just trying to now finish off these Minotaurs, punting around unit models, and taking quite a bit of damage from those Minotaurs with great weapons. But now that all of my infantry have rallied, the balance of power is starting to flip in my favor. And Malagor's not looking too happy. He's about 30% HP. These Minotaurs are almost gone, so we're going to bring the Manticore down and get right on Malagor. And although Malagor's, you know, a caster, excuse me, he'll do all right in melee here. You know, he's got better stats in terms of melee stats than most casters, so he'll do okay against this Manticore here. But at this point, most of his forces are gone. You can see these Koroks Man Rippers being terrified off by that Shaggoth. We're going to be zerging, you know, this force back here to finally take care of these Ungor Raiders who have just been, you know, sitting back harassing the whole time. So very, very good stuff. And at that, Malagor's going to tear out, and the rest of the forces will chain route. So very good game. Well played to my opponent. Definitely enjoyed that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown. So across the line, not an overly substantial amount of kills on any one unit, but that's just because my opponent brought a fairly small force. You can see this Shaggoth only getting 21 kills, but picking up 2 XP chevrons for killing the Giant, killing a bunch of Minotaurs, Gorbel. Great work done on this Shaggoth. Very good stuff. The Metal Sorcerer did some okay work. That final transmutation wasn't groundbreaking, but it definitely did some good damage, and as well dropping those Searing Dooms. You guys probably saw a couple of those coming down on those archers. Wasn't great, but you know, probably should have brought the Plague of Rust instead, but you know, trying out something new. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my build. Really, the Forsaken's the MVP here. For my opponent, this unit of Minotaurs with great weapons got some good work done. This unit of Minotaurs also got some good work done, but this one not being cost effective, and the Bestigor herd mostly getting crushed there in the front, so that was a bit unfortunate. The Giant as well getting hard countered by the Shaggoth was really rough, so definitely I'd like to bring this guy against the Beastmen just because they have so many good monsters. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching that. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I've got Warhammer Total War content coming every day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.